down and took some pictures of it up there in the left-hand corner, and then I made that picture from it and everything. There was over 200 pieces of stained glass in there. The wheels, everything is 3 layers of glass to get that kind of effect and everything out of it. Stuff, so.
In case your Peacock Green 253 set, only because I've started to dive more into the research myself, so I know how nice it is to get a version with that color that pops. This is what I love about this era of model railroading. They put colors on these engines and cars they never would put on models again. Nope. And it just like strikes your eye. Yeah, that is just gray. The 248 is beautiful too.
It is, yeah.
So they call that terracotta orange?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Terracotta, yeah.
Yeah, they always seem to come up with their terms for that kind of stuff.
My name, Ron Dubs.
Ron Dubs. And this is your stained glass layout. It's really impressive.
It's grown. It was only half this size, and then I built the pole barn out there, and I got the bright idea. My stained glass shop was on the far side of this room, in actually another room, so I got the bright idea to tear the wall down, move all my stained glass out to the pole barn, build a shop out there, and then I doubled the size of my layout.
Oh, wow.
Every building on here is made out of stained glass.
Wow.
Except for one, and you will probably find that as you're looking around. But every one of them is either an actual building or it's a figment of my imagination. The mill that used to be out at the fairgrounds that they're tearing down right now is back there. I made that before they started tearing everything down and it was falling apart. Strasburg Railroad Station, of course, that went over there, took pictures of that, and made that. Most of the rest of the towns are just whatever room I happen to have. I try to fill it with a building.
Start with that part. The layout for his stuff. You got it back to
And of course I put different people's names on the building and the family and everything. And there's Wayne's Diner, my wife Lynetta, she goes by Wayne. This is actually the Western Maryland Railroad Station that used to be in York. I went down to their museum, got pictures and different things of it, and I came back and made that. That's pretty much an authentic replica.
How long did it take you to build something like that?
Oh, something like that. We were talking, that probably got an easy 6 months of building time into it.
Oh, wow.
I mean, there's hundreds of pieces of glass. This facade here, if you see having that, and that's all one solid piece.
Oh.
There's just all kind of things into it. Of course, I made it into the Pennsylvania Railroad.
Okay.
On that part. Most of the houses are from Williamsburg in this area out here.
Uh-huh.
The mansion up on the hill has over 300 individual pieces of glass, 3 pounds of solder, 7 chimneys that I was going to make operational, but I couldn't figure out how to get back in there to put smoke fluid in all the time. So I said, I think I'm going to stop on that idea.
You said 3 pounds of solder?
3 pounds of solder holding that together.
Wow. So what gave you the idea to make buildings out of stained glass?
Well, years and years ago, many years ago, I started taking some classes on stained glass because I couldn't figure out how to cut glass. And during one of the classes that I took at a different places along the line, we made these little nightlight buildings. They were very primitive, very small, but they had a little nightlight in them and things. And they were pretty neat. And of course, I'm into trains and everything. You know, one day I just got at it and thought, hey, I'm going to try to make a building out of it. first building was kind of crude, and then they have improved along the line since then and things. So right on here now we've got 86 buildings, plus that bridge, that trestle bridge back there,
Okay.
that is made out of glass.
The bridges?
The bridge is made out of glass. Those
Wow.
those are small little pieces of glass cut. They're ground. Then, of course, stained glass gets foiled so that you have something to solder to. And I made that bridge, and it's far stronger than what needs to be to hold some engines on there. I have a trolley that I run back and forth in there, and one day it decided to hook out of operation back here.
Right.
And I didn't feel like opening up some of the lift outs and everything on here.
Okay.
So I sent a diesel back in there, grabbed a hold of it, but it wouldn't pull it out. So I put another diesel on the track, took it in, hooked it to those two. 2 diesels and the trolley car across the bridge, no problems at all. They were some of my bigger diesels.
So, when it comes to glass like this, I mean, how expensive is it to build something like that?
Expensive?
Yeah.
Well, glass is expensive because I buy it in big sheets.
Oh, you do?
4 by 4 sheets or something like that of glass. And it all depends on the colors
Okay.
that designate what the price of it is. Like the reds, the chemicals that it takes to put into the reds are very expensive. So
Oh, okay.
red glass is one of your more expensive, but a 4 by 8 sheet of glass can run anywhere from $30 to $60
Oh, that's it?
for a sheet of glass.
That's not bad at all.
And most of these buildings, you want at least 2 sheets of glass when you're building it, so that if you have mistakes or breaks or
Yeah.
things and stuff, you have backup of the same color
Okay.
and stuff on there. So that's it's the time that's involved. You know,
Yes.
first off, I have to have an idea of a building. Then I have to sit down and draw it in the computer. Then I generate my prints from that, where I make my mold, my forms and everything, and then you start cutting glass, and then you grind the glass so that everything fits together
Wow.
like a puzzle, a well put together puzzle. Then everything has to be foiled around the edges, and then you can solder it together.
Okay.
Doing all that, and everything has to be held square, perpendicular, everything parallel, and all that good stuff, because there's no way of fudging glass. Like maybe with a piece of wood, you can push it over, pry it a little bit, or bend it. You don't do that with glass, or you start over with that piece on there. So,
All right.
So these, they have this lead. Is this lead?
it's solder. So this is a piece, that's a piece, all the way around there like that. And the copper foil is applied to this edge here, and then that's what you can solder to.
Oh,
I thought it was a piece of like lead with a channel in it, and you push it.
That is a different method of doing stained glass. That's the older method, like your stained glass windows that are in churches.
Yes.
Those are done with a lead. It's all depends what edge it is. It could be an H piece, so that it could be soldered to the piece next to it. And on that type of way they're doing it, they normally only just solder the edges where they're together. Where here, I solder this whole thing all the way around there. It's solid solder on that.
So how do you? So you have the pieces coming together. How do you hold them in place before you solder?
Lots of times I have to make a form. So all these pieces, 8 or 10, whatever's in there, They're all soldered, and I make a form that slides down over top of that, and that holds everything together in position. And then I tack it and make sure I got everything flat.
But
and
is it a solid? Is it a solid piece of copper, like a piece of copper wire or something? That,
It's a solid piece of copper. It's a tape that actually goes on the edge. I mean,
Sure.
okay, so like here's a good way of seeing it. You can see the solder, how it's taped. There's a piece of tape that I put on there, and it's the sticky part goes against the glass. The bright copper part is out here where I can solder to.
Oh, you solder straight on top of that.
Right,
Oh.
and that's how it's all joined together. You can see all these pieces here, the solder and everything.
So you could take the tape and put it anywhere you want because it's
The what?
flexible. Tape.
Oh no, the tape is made to just go on the edge
Yeah.
Of the glass.
around here like this.
Yeah.
But you could. Is this a piece of tape? You put a piece of tape around this glass. And
No.
then you put the solder on top.
The
of
piece
it?
of tape goes on here, on this piece, and a piece of tape goes on this piece.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then that's what you solder
Right.
to on there.
So there's something on tape that makes the solder adhere to.
It's copper foil.
Okay.
It's copper foil
Copper
with
foil tape.
stickiness on the
I
back
understand.
side
And
of
then
it.
once it hardens, it's solid. It's not.
Once you solder it, it becomes
It's like
solid.
mortar. It's
you
like
know.
mortar.
Yeah, this is,
Okay,
you know,
I
it's, to
understand.
me it's a fishbowl upside down. You know? Except for in the here we actually have a real bell.
Oh
Do you
wow.
have
several of them, you know, these columns that we put on here are some type of fastener that you drive in the wall and it expands. On there. I mean, we've got all kinds of things that we've done. There's computer parts on there, bearings and pulleys. And these ones is one of my favorites. We have one of those joints that went there. You know, I could tell a guy that I gotta throw everything apart, save every screw, or everything that's reusable in there. And this is the reason for the inside of the joint. I said, well, that one for you. There you go. And there's a gas valve. Probably 1-inch motor on there. I got a piece of LED light bulb. Just everything. Just a little bit of everything. It actually makes, I don't know if you've noticed it on here, but there's a double Packers outhouse. Double decker outhouse. Right up
What did you do for a living?
Not much. I can't take the time to do this. I used to work for a company and we made custom machinery for the electronics industry, solar panels, and all that kind of stuff and everything. So I built machines, and then when they go out in the field, my job is to go out, service them, install them, repair them, whatever it happened to be. And I did that for a lot of years, and then the company got bought out by a Swiss company. And I was traveling overseas to places, and I just didn't care for that
Do you have an
anymore.
engineering background?
Well, no degrees, but I do have a machinist degree on that. And so.
How long ago was it that you first started getting into glass?
About 45 years ago, I started. I've always liked stained glass and everything. And I tell a story that is true. When I was a kid, of course, I broke a window. I'm 80 years old, so you know how old I'm talking about when I was a kid. Broke the window, got my ass beat. In those days, that's what you did. You didn't get a timeout. Then I watched my dad take a piece of glass, and he had this glass cutter, and he cut the size of window, replaced the window, and everything, and I was fascinated. Well, one day when he wasn't home, I got that piece of glass out, and I tried to cut it, and I broke it.
That's me.
I broke it in
I have
pieces.
never been successful.
And guess what? I got my ass beat again. I'm a slow learner. But then, about 45 years ago now, I started taking some lessons over the winter. I took some lessons at one place, and then the next year or so I took lessons at another place, and combined different methods and things, and I had nothing like this on mine. I have made everything from little night lights to Tiffany lampshades before I even started doing this. So I've been working at it for, like I say, about 45 years, and over that time I've made just about everything.
What do you call this? It's like a crackling?
Yes, the glass, when you buy it, you can buy it with different textures.
Right.
You know, it can either be smooth, it can be like this. Over here, this church is one of my favorite groups. The glass that's on that, it's really a hard glass with a lot of ripples in it and everything.
Where does most of the glass come from? And is any of this hand blown glass?
This kind of glass is not blown. This glass is mixed as it's a molten material, and then they run it through rollers to get it to be flat and the thickness that they wanted and everything on there. So that's like that. I don't get into the blown glass or anything. There's so many different areas. Tables and chairs for just that blue hotel over there.
Oh, this one here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
For
well,
all these
balconies.
and stuff.
Yeah, I see
And I said it's going to cost me a fortune to buy all of that. And somewhere online or something, I was seeing somebody with a laser cutter. So I said, well, I guess I'm going to learn how to do that. So I investigated it more, and then I bought a small one. And I make a whole line any of these little tables or chairs or benches or
Like all these up here, huh?
all those up there, railroad crossing signs at the railroads and things, I made them. There's a lot of, here are mailboxes, the posts and all that stuff I cut out on a laser. There's, I guess you guys all know Cracker Barrel, of course. Well, there's even checkerboards on there and rockers. And I made all of those on there. And then, I don't know if any of you are familiar with the Star Barn.
Gotta be local to do that.
That's a local thing. That was an original Civil War Star Barn, and it was up near the airport in Harrisburg, and it was falling down, all broke up and everything. So they got a whole group of people to invest.
Sean, see
They
the elevator he
purchased
put in
it.
the middle of this?
They tore it
The little
down piece
metal
by
grommet
piece.
that
What was
rides as an
still left
elevator in
of
the
it.
central
They
column.
got
Oh,
moved
really?
over to across the river to Elizabethtown, reassembled, and now they hold weddings there and all kind of venues. It is a masterpiece and stuff over there. So, of course, I had to make that.
Of course, yeah.
Like the windmill
Local
there.
people appreciate that.
You see the eagle up there. I had to put the eagle there because we have an eagle's nest right down here in the next fenced row. And all winter long, I watch the eagles down
Do
there.
you really?
They're over there now. So, but that's the story on the buildings there. Like I say, the only one is an actual building. Well, of course, the Seattle Space Needle, but it's this building here, the mauve-colored one. That's a UPMC office up in Harrisburg.
Oh, yeah?
I thought that was kind of neat.
Look at it.
And if you want to count them, I'll give you a tablet and a pencil and
Case of beer?
at one time, yes. Unfortunately, not now. Back there's the Sherman-Williams paint store. Every color in the book and stuff. I had to do that. Wolfgang Candies
Yeah, I like
is a
that.
local,
That's
and
nice.
that's the store over there.
Yeah.
That part of it. The lumber yard there, when Menards brought their got a loading dock out here on the side of it and things. But those boxes were all made on the laser. And the other stuff was printed on the 3D printer.
Bunch of nuts with googly eyes.
Unfortunately, we got our little hobo camp back there.
It's not mine
That's right. I'm sorry. I know.
It's great. I like it better than Lionel's actually. I think their fire is a little bit too small.
Oh,
Yours
no.
looks good. You can really figure out what it is.
One there, it's a little restaurant. I call it a hobo shop.
He's got all kinds of neat stuff in here.
No, it's upstairs and things. I'll get the wife. She wants to bring down some cookies.
Yeah, water too.
Water.
Just after the day. I mean, after so much.
Came around, I had no chips or pretzels for that week. Yeah, on that part. You want chips and pretzels? You have make a good truck in there.
Never had to go. Never had to leave home for milkshakes or chips.
Here, I brought this down. I'm walking around with it. The white makes chocolate chip cookies. Sign that says coming soon.
New full service Sunoco
Chocolate chip cookies.
I'll get mine outside. Well, no, I'll get one. It's here in front of me.
No, I'm good. I have
All the stones came from the road. Two previous smaller layouts. And then I got to the point where I wanted something bigger. So I took the whole room. I had a little workshop and everything in there. This used to be the family room. Building that in that room in there and things. And
But he didn't tell you, he's got video cameras, he watches engines underneath that. So if someone doesn't try to find it.
I saw lights and stuff. I looked out the driveway. At the end of the driveway, one of the Northern Regional police cars out there. Lights, crazy. About that time the phone went off. It was my neighbor next week. Said that his wife was turning in their driveway and some guy rear-ended her. And I mean, he messed up his vehicle terribly, and her car's smashed up in the back. Yes, they took his car away on a rollback. He says, do any